up, everybody? This is Drew from Section 116, ArgosEndzone.com. Time for Week 13 action. Ooh, scary 13. As the Argos travel to Winnipeg, take on the Blue Bombers. As always, on the YouTube channel, click the See More button, jump to the chapter you want to see. We'll get things rolling with a look back what happened last week. Wow. Guys, last week I was almost on the verge of talking about moral victories in terms of keeping games close, the way the Argos have been playing at home, and in particular how things have gone against Hamilton. The Argos decided to make a huge fool out of me, and I thank them for that, as they put on a heck of a show owning the Hamilton Tiger Cats from beginning to end. We had question marks with new starting quarterback Dan LaFevour, who effectively moved the ball, did throw a couple of picks, but effectively moved the ball when he was reading the coverages effectively. It was almost like the game had been simplified, the playbook had been simplified to make it easier for the new quarterback to take over, and it worked. It really worked. They engaged the running game. A guy that looks a lot like me said to keep an eye on Brandon Whitaker, who contributed on the ground, in the air, and in the blocking scheme. There was a heck of a 40-plus yard run to score with some great cutbacks. Where I'm sitting in the end zone was a perfect view for seeing him just cutting back and working his way through the defense. It was, again, a tip of the cap to Mr. Brandon Whitaker, who put on a heck of a show. When the Argos were on defense, they just stymied the Ticats at every turn. Solid hits. CJ Gable took a beating. I would be a fan of that guy if he's wearing any other uniform in the league. But when they were giving him the ball late in the game to try to create some balance, he was starting to move the chains. They just didn't go with him early enough, often enough, in an effective manner for it to be a difference. But that man took a beating. And TJ Heath with 2 interceptions, now leading the team with 5. Sorry, what? He got traded? What? Right after the game. Okay, but anyways, he had a heck of a game. Apparently it was his birthday. I mean, what a day. 2 picks and a one-way ticket to Winnipeg. I guess we'll see him very soon to see how he feels about his new team. Overcoming last week's task against their arch rival, the Argos face another mountain as they travel to Winnipeg to take on the surging Blue Bombers. Winnipeg has won, 6 straight, as their starting quarterback Nichols made Drew Willie expendable, who is now a Toronto Argonaut. Mr. Drew Willie, welcome to the Double Blue. And they've got great balance when running back Andrew Harris is healthy. He's able to move the chains. The returning Clarence Denmark has made a difference in the receiving core. Very opportunistic defense that creates a lot of turnovers, and they just added the Argonauts' interceptions leader, TJ Heath. Now, we're not expecting to see Heath or Willie this week, maybe just in really abbreviated roles. We'll see how things progress. But what you've got in front of you, though, is a very, very confident Bomber team at home, which will be no small feat. Now, this will be week 2 for starting quarterback Dan LaFevour with the Argonauts. Another week of first-team snaps, should making him more comfortable with the offense and what the skill set of his receivers is, as well as being able to pick up on the blocking schemes. And then, reading Winnipeg defense. That's a whole other conversation, as Mike O'Shea's team has been doing a heck of a job this year of keeping offenses off balance. As always, Scott Milanovich had said that the winner of the turnover battle is going to win this game. I'm a big believer that you've got to create points on every drive. So whether it is a field goal or a rouge, make sure you're putting points on the board every single time you have the ball. Liam Haralalu does a great job of making sure that happens most of the time in terms of his kicking ability, as well as the field position that you get with the punting game. With a game like this, again, the Argos got to keep it simple and keep it close. They can't let Winnipeg run away from them. The best way of keeping a dangerous offense from hurting you is don't let them have the ball. So the Argos' very, very methodical, quick, short passes with an intermittent running game allows for a lot of clock management so that Winnipeg cannot get on the field to cause havoc. We'll see what kind of strategy they go with there. But as I said last week, very similar to Hamilton's defense, when you've got a defense like that, the best thing to do is to keep them off balance. If they're aggressive, that's where you go with screen passes and counters. Brandon Whitaker has got to be another big part this week. But, what a job by Elliott and Gurley on the outsides last week with some amazing catches and, again, help moving the ball. This is a team effort. I'm not sure there's a bigger team sport in the world than football, where it really is greater than the sum of its parts. If everybody comes together in the right way, buys into the system, you see results. So again, the goal is going to be to capitalize on every opportunity, make sure you're getting points on every drive, and eliminate turnovers. Oh, and create turnovers. You want to get the ball back too. Who should you be watching this week? When the Argos have got the ball, I'm looking at quarterback Dan LaFevour, number 18. As I said earlier, this will be his second consecutive start with another week of first-team receptions, first-team reps at practice to get more comfortable with the team he's playing with and the playbook they are playing with. He did a heck of a job last week of managing the ball. I was a big fan of him running the option inside the goal line. I'm just kind of a fan of the option. I know it doesn't design for getting huge yardage, but when you've got less than 5 yards to go, I thought it was great. Swinging outside, drawing 2 tacklers, pitching it to Brandon Whitaker for the touchdown. I enjoyed it. It was getting creative. I'm all for a creative offense. I'm very interested to see how he does this week against another very, very strong turnover-minded defense. Can he manage the game, minimize turnovers, move the ball, and get points on the board? So keep an eye on number 18, Dan LaFevour, when the Argos have got the ball. On defense, I'm looking at number 24, AJ Jefferson. The boundary corner was very vocal in terms of losing his defensive teammate, TJ Heath. He was saying how they got a great chemistry and were working really, really well together. So there's a part of me thinking that Winnipeg is going to be picking on that side, as whoever they've got sliding in there will be new-ish. And then Jefferson trying to get comfortable with that guy, as well as containing the Winnipeg offense. He's totally capable. I'm a big A.J. Jefferson fan. So I'm just kind of curious to see how things are going to progress this week. So, as I said, when the Argos have got the ball, keep an eye on number 18, Dan LaFevour. When they do not have the ball, number 24, A.J. Jefferson. Score prediction. If you do the math, again, I always start with the math in terms of what teams have put up and kept away from for the season. Winnipeg comes out, I think it worked out to like 26-21. It wasn't terribly close. Most of them are kind of in the 20s at this point in the season. I predicted a very, very low score last week, anticipating the Argos trying to contain Hamilton, and it ended up being a much bigger 33-21 game than I would have anticipated. So, well, heck, let's go big then, right? Let's say that everything just kind of blows right open. We have a really entertaining back-and-forth battle with a 35-31 Argos win. Sure, just bring that down a little bit. Yeah, I'm just picking this out of the air, right? We all know that? Okay, cool. That'll wrap things up for another week. Hope you had some fun. As always, like, comment, and share this video. We'll get the word out to everybody we possibly can. And yeah, let us know what you'd like to see different. Because, hey, I'm open to suggestions. Follow us on our social media feeds. You know the ones. It's Twitter, it's Facebook, it's YouTube. We post pretty regularly, especially tweeting. The boss tweets a lot during the games. Keep an eye out for that. We get at least one post a week there on Facebook. And, of course, this crazy video shows up on YouTube once a week. Again, it's a 2 o'clock start on a Saturday. The weather's getting a little chilly, starting to feel more like football weather out there, and we're gearing toward that playoff push. As I say, every game counts. Without getting into too many details, the Argos have just about got to win outright to make sure they make the playoffs. With the crossover threat from the West and losing the tiebreaker to Hamilton here in the East, they pretty much got to finish second or higher to make sure they get the playoff spot. So this is where it's going to start to roll. It's also started a 3-game road trip for the Double Blue. They're not back into Toronto until Thanksgiving Monday. So this is it's another test, right? And this team has got to come together again underneath this adversity. We'll see how things progress. 2 o'clock start, Saturday. Get in front of the TV if you're not out in Winnipeg. And we're going to have some fun, right? Cool. So until next time, this is Drew from Section 116, ArgosEnzo.com, reminding you to ride the rail and you ride it hard. Toronto!